Okay, so today I was thinking about some things and trying to make some trades and some investments, and I had some ideas for a video that I thought would be worth bringing up. But right now, the Wealth Transfer channel at TC, he's doing I guess kind of like a summary of some prophecies that some people have come out and that they've been flat wrong, not just with timing, but specific declarations, like even prophesying that a person would die on before a certain time, or prophesying that a president would be in office. And two things that have really distressed me for quite a while. One is the division in the church, and the finger pointing that goes on, and the mocking. People, they mock the spiritual gifts, especially, or deny them, especially prophecy. And then what's double discouraging is that people are given prophecies that they're not from the Lord. And some of these individuals are very influential, and they're actually saying, "Thus said the Lord." And instead of, as TC puts it, instead of apologizing or admitting that they must have heard wrong or interpreted wrong, they're sort of doubling down. And so I have to have enough grace to know, I have enough sin in my life. I can't, really point any fingers. But I can identify people that you don't want to follow, or that I don't want to follow. That's a better way for me to put it. I can definitely say I'm not going to listen to that person because they don't have anything to offer. And TC puts it pretty well. At the very end of his latest video, he said, if you listen and believe these people in the days to come in the future, you will be deceived. And that, I couldn't agree with that more, that if you listen to someone who's consistently wrong during 2020 to the present, and if there's a gag reel of bloopers of how wrong they've been, you should probably stop listening to them, and they should probably stop trying to tell you what God says. Now with my channel, I take a position like Drew Wyatt. These are dreams. Most of what I share are dreams, or visions. I have a lot of dreams. I don't make a video about even 1% of the dreams I have. My goal is to only share what I believe is unquestionably divinely inspired, whether those be blessings or warnings. And so there's one other thing. I think another thing about TC, he's shared so many of these various believers' prophecies about the wealth transfer. He didn't try to weed out the good from the bad, or he cast a wide net and shared many. And I think he feels an obligation to go back and recap and say, hey, look, these people were wrong a lot. and about very, very specific things. So, without commenting on that too much more, I appreciate him compiling some of those words, because he's done a lot of due diligence, and it really gives you a picture like, whoa, they said some things, and they said, thus said the Lord, and it didn't happen. So I'm grateful for that, because hopefully it'll keep me from getting enmeshed in some of the things that are circulating. At the end of the day, if you are a true born-again believer and you've been baptized in the Holy Spirit, and if you've asked the Lord for the gift of prophecy, you probably will have already been on that journey where you've heard some things, or God has shown you some things, and you hold them real, maybe you hold them real close, or maybe you've shared them. If you've shared them, maybe you've run into mockery, and I have a tendency to kind of browse on YouTube to see, is there any other believers who've heard the same exact things as me? And Brother Keith is one. God showed him Dogecoin when it was a nickel. This is part of his testimony. God also showed me Dogecoin when it was a nickel, and I had no previous crypto trading experience. I didn't have any accounts. I had no desire. I had absolutely no desire at all to buy crypto, but I prayed and asked God to show me a job that would fit into my schedule. And when he showed me Dogecoin at that moment in time, I received the revelation that, oh, God is saying I can be an investor. And so it helped. I received that calling from God that I could view myself as an investor, and it helped me with my identity in Christ to know that that's what God could accomplish for me too. Well, I saw such quick results with the revelation. It was less than 2 months went by, and the price went up from a nickel to like 69 cents just in a couple of months. And so because of how rapidly that happened, of course I knew it was from God, but someone like Brother Keith, who has the same exact testimony, that's what you call like a two witnesses. They're co-witnessing, but we never discussed it with one another. He didn't even know I existed when I heard his testimony of it. Well, prior to that, Brother Keith was posting videos about food storage. What are some of the most valuable food items to have in the event of a famine? He published multiple videos on this topic, and also preached a sermon that he believed in America, as a word from the Lord, we're going to see famine before the so-called rapture. Well, God had showed me that. And, unbeknownst to Brother Keith, that's another co-witness. Both of us receiving the same word on different parts with no... Well, same thing happened with Luna Classic. God gave me a vision about Luna Classic in the middle of the day, and I saw, this was right after it crashed. This was a few days after the crash event, and it was sub-penny price, and I had a vision in the middle of the day where I saw the Terra Luna logo like on a kite string. It's like a string with the logo. And before I saw that image of it going like high as a kite, I saw the price 0.56, which was 56 cents. I interpret it. And it was a few days later, Brother Keith published a video about a chain of events where he had a dream, then his friend that was in the dream reached out to him, and God orchestrated it to where it was kind of like impossible not to receive it as a word. So I say all this, I don't put any other human really up on a pedestal because we all fall short. But Brother Keith is a guy that if I'm sharing information with a new crypto newbie, someone, if I'm trying to persuade someone this is real, God is doing it, it's not all about get rich quick, because it's about getting ready for a dark time. Some of us are going to live through a dark time, and God is doing something to prepare us, to equip us for that battle. And it's, for some of us, we didn't, it was so overwhelming because we didn't know how we were going to prepare, and now the revelation of a new financial opportunity answers some of those questions. But to have so many reoccurring similarities in what God shows, I see Brother Keith as someone who truly hears from the Lord, and when he does, he shares it in a way that's not alarmist. He shares it with maturity, with transparency, and it can benefit people. It can change, it could definitely help bless you. I also feel the same is true for Drew Wyatt. He's never, that I know of, mentioned, that God showed him about a famine, but even his revelation about silver, I had a few dreams about silver as well. No, not as many as Drew has had. But I see, God changed my mind about silver. When God told me about the darkness and showed me there was going to be a famine, he showed me that back in around 2011. I had an attitude like, you can't eat silver. Silver's heavy. It's hard to carry. In my mind, food was the when I heard what God, I'll share it in a video soon. I was so close-minded to digital currency. I was like, that's going to get vaporized. I was wrong about digital currency and the opportunity it presented for investment, because I would have thought the famine would have already started. I would have thought back in 2011 that the economy would have already gone so far down that we'd be in a depression by now. I was wrong about timing in my own heart, but I never said, thus said the Lord, there's going to be a famine this year or next year, So I have a lot of grace for people who get timing wrong, but certain people that are consistently wrong about very specific things and timing, they're not being responsible. And so I wanted to bring this up. People are using the term false prophets, and a false prophecy is a false prophecy, and we all, as believers, we all fall short. And I think we want to see fruit of We want to see fruit. So I was going to bring this up. It's not like I'm commending myself, because I'm not worthy, of anything really to boast, because any dream I have or vision is, if it's from God, that's a gift. I can't, and I struggle. God has shown me things, and I was like, God, is this you? And I feel guilty, because I'm like, I'm supposed to know your voice. God, is this from you? And then I'll beat myself up because I can't hear. Some of these people act like they hear so clearly from God, and I'm like, I do sometimes. Some people make it seem easier than it is, and I'm like, man, it makes me feel bad. But I wanted to bring this up. So this should be encouraging to anyone who's invested in Shiba Inu and Luna Classic. This is why I'm bringing this up. Number one, back, I think it was November 23rd, God gave me a dream about Phantom, FTM. It's a crypto. At the time of the video, it was 18 cents. I released a video the same day, and within a week, 7 to 10 days, it went up 38%. And that was when the market was really on a downward, it was in the death spiral. FTX and all that was gripping that was all the buzz, was major fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and scams. And so it went up 38%. Well, now, today, like since that video 2 months ago, under 2 months ago, it's gone from 18 cents to, I think, 34. So it almost doubled in price. And I don't know, I'm sure there is maybe one or two cryptos in the top 100 that have done that, but if I'm not mistaken, that may be the only crypto that moved that much into the positive and sustained it during that period of time. If there's another one, good, but there might only have been a couple at most. So I saw that as confirmation. It's like, this edifies what the Lord said about Shiba Inu. This, to me, edifies what the Lord told me about Luna Classic. Well, it was December 20th. I posted the fishing video, the one of the fishing wall and the photos, and towards the end of the video, I shared the word that God had given me about Robonomics, and that ticker is XRT, and it's not easy to get. I got it on MetaMask, but so God, I'm praying, and I give this testimony in that video. God just told me Robonomics. It came from nowhere, like Robonomics, and I saw these cartoon characters that were really weird. Come to find out, those are the characters on the Robonomics website. I found that out after investigating. So I bought Robonomics when it was $2.02. Just the other day, it hit $3.30, like $3.33 or something. So it's gone up $1.20. It's gone up over 50% in a month. Now, I put that money into Robonomics already knowing, hey, Shiba Inu, I believe what God showed me about that. I believe what God showed me about Luna Classic. Also, XRP. I have some XRP. I don't buy it as frequently as I was buying Shiba Inu, and then I started setting buy orders for the big dip that's prophesied to come. But I just thought, okay, if you can make it through my videos, I talk slow, and I kind of weave around ideas to build ideas. That's just my style, I guess, of communicating some of this stuff. I'm trying to connect dots. If you bought Phantom the day that I published that video, you're up. I don't think it ever dipped below that current price. If you bought Robonomics today, I released that video, you would be up. And so I'm grateful and glad that God would use me to share that kind of information, but to me it's building my own faith, and I hope it can build the faith of the people who watch any of my videos, because if you if you watch my videos and you buy something that I would hate for it to go down. Of course I've bought cryptos and then they just go boom, and you're like, even Shiba Inu, when I first started buying Shiba, it was at like 15. Well, it's been around the 8 and 9 range, so it's almost 50% off from when I first had my dream. So that being said, I'd rather get double for my money, and being I'm not a genuine tightwad, but being someone who tries to get value, you always hope to time it best, and you would rather get more for your money. And so my purpose for bringing this up, there's so many people claiming so many things. They're claiming they had a dream and that it was from the Lord, or that they had a dream with the crypto price. And if I share anything, it's because I feel a calling, I feel a duty to share it. This is an actual confession. I had people send me significant amounts of blessings. They asked, do you have a PayPal or a Dogecoin wallet? And I finally started, I forgot what month it was, I put my Dogecoin wallet address first. And I had people send me, within a very short time, money like $100 gifts, $100, another $100. I had someone send me the biggest gift I've ever received shortly after that. And, to be honest with you, that will kind of light a fire under your butt to try to make more videos. When you're getting gifts to, especially, if it involves financial type advice or predictions, it would be tempting to just want to put out a video. Well, I had this incentive. This was me thinking, I was like, well, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can monetize my channel, and then I can make this passive income, because I've been struggling financially. I felt burned out. I'll have a good day, and then I'll have a day where it's hard to motivate, and I've got clutter in my life. I have so many loose ends, split ends. A lot of my possessions, my animals are in one place, my equipment's in another barn 20 miles away. I live with my mom. She wants the garage. I had to move a lot of stuff into the garage, and it's cluttered and it's very disorganized. So it's hard for me to consistently make progress in a lot of areas of my life, because I've just been shuffling, and financial stress has been it's been a dominant theme for a while, especially before I sold my chickens. My chickens were eating like 90 chickens. People go, oh, eggs are so expensive. Chickens are expensive. Go raise 90 chickens, laying hens, and tell me if you think you come out ahead. They eat. They eat like 40 or 50 pounds a day. My goats are eating like crazy right now. Half of them are pregnant, and so I had this idea that, well, when my channel reaches 1,000, I can monetize it. But then I started realizing when I get on YouTube, they have these raunchy, some of these commercials are raunchy, or they're not what you would want your viewers to see. And so I finally kind of reached a point, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I said, I don't want commercials. I always hated commercials anyways. Why do I want them on my channel for money? Well, and I talked to some people, they said, well, everyone else does it. I'm like, so I hope if anyone watches this long, tell me if there's commercials on my channel. When I click on them, I haven't seen any. But, the temptation to try to put content out to get donations, I would think, well, maybe if I make a video, I can make some money. And I saw, that was another reason I said, God's already blessed me through charitable giving, so I don't want to, I didn't want to sell myself short with the ad revenue. And now I'm just going, you know what, forget it. I really don't want commercials on my channel, period. It's just a principle. It's a principle. I've boycotted McDonald's 25 years ago. I can make my stand. I boycotted Wendy's like 10 years ago. If it's junk, it's junk, and I don't want junk on my channel. Or this channel, my channel. So all that being said, when it comes to some of these people producing content, I know there's another brother that was wrong about a price prediction, and I think he's well-meaning. I know that people can fall. We're all human, and because even I had that, I had to go through that process, and even because I had received gifts, which to be honest, I reinvested all of it. And my thoughts were, so if you sent me any Dogecoin or XRP, it's still on the blockchain. And my view is, if someone's going to sow into my life, I want it to multiply so that I can sow into even more lives in the days to come. I had thought that I was going to fix my truck with some of the money, but I just reinvested it in some AI cryptos, and they went up a lot. It was wiser to reinvest it after seeing the results. So all that being said, just be very aware that there are people that they have to be making Christian prophetic content just because it's going to generate revenue. And again, I'm very grateful. If you sent me anything, God bless, and I want to steward it. It is actually holding me more accountable. It kind of raises the bar. If someone gives me money to sow into my life, like, that money gets earmarked to high priority, to not be wasted at all, ever. So anyways, I hope this is encouraging. The main takeaway is, it's very disturbing to be a person who wants to walk in the prophetic, who wants to receive prophecies. You don't want to reject a true prophet or a true word from the Lord. And so there's so much confusion, there's so much information, so many Christians are looking, who's got the word, who's hearing from God. And when time goes by and you find out some of these things are not of the Lord, it becomes very discouraging. So then you can be less likely to want to receive. But I put my money where my mouth is. These words from the Lord about Luna Classic hitting 10 cents, I think you can write that one down for the ages. That's a testimony. I believe that's straight from heaven. The testimony of Shiba Inu going up, we don't really fully understand. I think you can write that one down. I had a confirmation beyond belief that I'm not going to share because it's too hard to tell, but it's beyond. For me, I received it after multiple other confirmations, and it was like, okay, I'm not going to let this one pass by. So I don't know how long this video is, but God bless y'all. I hope that it can encourage you that some of the things that God showed me just in the past 2 months have gone on to outperform the market during that time, and that should be encouraging, that some of these other things that are supposed to be radically, that God has been faithful with those two, and so we can double down. I watched one of Drew White's videos about Luna Classic the other day. Just rewatched it. I was going to send it to another believer who has no crypto. I said, look, if you're going to listen to someone, instead of sending my own videos, I'm going to send you Drew White's video. And I sent him 2 of Drew's videos. I can't remember when they were published, but one of them he's wearing like a neon green shirt. And I says, I have filtered through a lot of this content. You can, if you want to receive the distilled version of the prophecy, this is a good place to start and a good place to end. I watched Drew's video, and it just made me want to buy more Luna Classic. Like, God, how can I get some more money? Because it's been, first I started buying XRP, then the Lord showed me Luna Classic, and I was like, oh. Then the Lord showed me Shiba, and I'm like, oh, and then he showed me some of these others, and it's good to be diversified because we don't know what's going to go up first, and anytime God wants to give you some good financial advice, you should just take it. Like, if God's speaking directly to you, don't doubt it. I'll give this testimony, and then I'm going to quit. My brother told me about a crypto. This was 45 days ago. He told me about a crypto. He doesn't really want me sharing this information because he pays for it in a Patreon. And so he told me about it. It was very cheap. I'll tell you, it's an AI related crypto. But he got so mad, he's like, don't ever... Anyway. I was praying one night, and the Lord told me, your brother... No, this was in the morning. I think. Anyway. The Lord told me, your brother already has it. And then I saw a picture of the logo. So I woke my brother up. I'm like, Brian, God gave me a vision and told me it's one that your brother has. And so he got excited because my brother and I have different spiritual, I don't want to go into that, but he has some beliefs that I'm like, Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's been turned off by hypocrites in the church. So anyway, so for me to talk crypto with him about this, it was really something that it kind of perked him up. Like, God would mention me, I could tell it kind of lit his face. So I buy some of this stuff and it goes down. And I'm like, did I really hear from the Lord? Fast forward 30 days later, it went up like 1,000%. Like, yeah, it did. Wait. Yeah, it went up 1,000%. It went up from 0.0005 all the way up to like 50 cents. And I was upset that it dropped down after I bought it. I should have just bought more, but I didn't understand the timing. I got discouraged. I second guessed God. Did he really, And then once it started going up, it went parabolic. And now it's like still 600% higher than that low price. So that being said, when you hear from God, I've mentioned these things. Just pray, ask God. I'd like for people to receive double confirmation and triple confirmation and share their testimonies, and to know for certain, that what they're pursuing, God has given them, the green light. So I thought that was a cool way for God to speak to me. Your brother already has it. And then he showed me that logo, which means I should listen to my brother a little bit more too. I don't want to box him out just because he's not in the same spiritual place as me. I I don't think he doesn't use scriptures to seek God, the truth of God's promises. So I don't want to block blessings, because I think God has been using both of our interest in crypto to help us build a relationship. And so of course I share everything with my brother that God shows me too, and so that's a blessing to have something in common. There's some brothers that don't have anything in common. And so anyway, all that being said, I shared an email with some brothers that I believe there's going to be an AI bull run. It's already started. I was so reluctant to mention it in a video. By AI, I mean artificial intelligence. The Chat GPT software that they released, it's an organization, OpenAI. They have the DALL-E 2 visual. It's like a visualizer that can turn any text prompt into a photographic image, and infinite permutations of it. So DALL-E 2's been around, and then ChatGPT, when they released it, it reached like 1 million users in 5 days, and it's kind of a buzzword, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are unaware of it. They've been mentioning it mainstream. I think it's made headlines, on some of the, like even Fox News talked about it, but they don't really go into depth. And so what it looks like is a lot of money is going to flow into these AI cryptos. So what I would very much encourage anyone who's listening to this right now to truly pray about it for real. This is not a cliche like, oh, pray about it, because this is a very sensitive time. I've seen the bull run in the metaverse cryptos, and some of them went from like 7 per penny to 70 cents in 2 to 3 months. So pray, seek the Lord. He can show you, and if he really shows you and he showed you, don't second guess it. If you buy it, if God shows you something and you buy it, I don't care if it dips 20%. That only means maybe you should buy more of it. Really, it could be a blessing. I know a lot of people are strapped for money, but it happened to me. I bought it, it dipped, and I went, oh, was that really God? Well, no, it went up hundreds of percents, hundreds and hundreds of percents. and in like a month and a half time. And but the increase was in a short amount of time, like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So if you go to CoinMarketCap, you can go push categories, and there's a section called AI and Big Data, and it'll list them in order of market cap. The one strategy you can have is pray about low cap, cheap projects that are undervalued. Regardless, the last thing, I keep probably saying the last thing, when you pray about this, when you do your due diligence, research it, because AI is looking like it's going to affect everything really soon. It probably already affects more than we can fathom, more than we could imagine, but it's going to accelerate unless something crazy happens. It's going to accelerate, and billions of dollars are going to flow in that direction. Billions of dollars have already been flowing in that direction, but more money is going to come in. And so even though some people might think, okay, am I late? Pray about it. And because this is something to put your scope on, right? And you're like, okay, Lord, I'm going to pinpoint, Brother Michael said this. What do you want to show me about it? And I would love to hear anybody's feedback. That simple. And some of those projects I know are scams, right? Depending on your risk tolerance, some of these things might go up 500% in a month so that you could buy more Luna Classic, so that you could buy more Shiba Inu. Only the Lord knows. You could buy more XRP, but it's looking like the beginning of a larger bullish uptrend. Some of these projects have small market caps, and they could go up 10 times from where they are and still not be in the top 100 or 200. So something to pray about, something that's time sensitive, and it's an investment opportunity. And I was reluctant to share it because I hate sharing information once the price action starts. I told some friends about Dogecoin when it was already expensive, and they didn't, they weren't able to make profit on it. And technically I barely made any profit because I held on to it. So I was so optimistic, I just kept holding it, and it just came all the way back down. But pray about that stuff. God bless y'all. And I'm sharing this because that's what I'm doing, right? And that's where I feel led. And I do feel like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity also. And that once these projects, the artificial intelligence cryptos, as they go up, you can take profits at any time. I would pray for price points, but profit is, if you double your money and can buy twice as much of something else that the Lord gave you a price for, that's just as good. Anyway, that's just a little strategy. God bless, and I pray the Lord gives everyone the revelation they need to prosper their families, their communities, and their neighbors. I pray that we'll be able to really be graceful and to do a lot of good work for God. And I'm grateful that He would even show me things. I pray that He'll share. If you ask for the gift of prophecy by the power of the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus, in faith, read what Paul said about the spiritual gifts. If you strive eagerly for something, if you seek the Lord with your whole heart, He speaks. And that's my advice, because this is a very urgent time And one strategic investment can help deliver you from financial, for me, it's like survival mode. So if you live with your parents and you want to be able to get a house, or if you have to live with family, you want to be able to buy a family member a house, buy land, this is the time to press in, because the volatility in the market, without God giving those revelations and being fully convinced in what the Lord showed you, to not turn to the left or right, a lot of people are going to get shaken out. And so to have that inside information from God is it's gold. It's gold. And there's gold in those hills. Okay. Good night. Good night.